Okay, CGMS students, welcome to part 2 of notes 5.7. There's a key difference from what we were doing where we're combining terms because they were on the same side of the equal sign, and if you have variables on different sides of the equal sign. So read this with me. When variables exist on both sides of the equation, we must pick which side we want to move our variables to and then solve it like a two-step equation. I like personally moving all the variables to the left. It just seems to make more sense to me, but it's totally up to you how you want to do it. So you have a buzz math level on this, and I'm going to do a couple problems with that buzz math level. So notice the equal sign again, that's our barrier, and notice how we have variables on either side of that equal sign. So if I want to move my variables this way, I do it just like if I were to try and move a constant. I have a negative c here, so I add c to both sides. Oops, sorry about that. Add c to both sides. In doing so, I'm going to draw this line right here. That cancels out because it's 0, but c plus c is 2c plus 43 gets dropped down, the equal sign gets dropped down, and the 3 gets dropped down. So now, look, I have a two-step equation. 2c plus 43 equals 3. I add negative 43 to both sides. This is a DSSM, difference sign, subtract more. So cross those out. 2c is equal to 43 minus 3 is 40, but since I had more negatives, I'll say negative 40. And then I finish it off by dividing by 2. So c is equal to negative 40 divided by 2 is negative 20. Different signs negative on that division problem. All right. I know this part probably is the most confusing part, so I'm going to do that a couple more times before I release you to do buzz math. So again, I see an x here. It's a positive x. I see a negative x there. I know I have variables on either side of the equal sign. I just can't combine them just yet because they're not on the same side. So I will add negative x, add negative x. Remember, the goal when I move it is to get one side to equal to 0. So that equals 0 right there. Negative x plus negative x is negative 2x. Drop down your plus 3 is equal to, drop down your 87. And now we have a beautiful two-step equation. So add negative 3 to both sides. DSSM, different signs, subtract, keep the sign we have more. So 87 minus 3 is really 84. It's positive because I had more positives. Drop down your negative 2x. And then your last step, divide not by 2, but by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. So x in this case is equal to 84 divided by negative 2. You do have access to a calculator, but if you were to do it mentally, 80 divided by 2 is 40, 80 divided by 4 is 2, so you get negative 42. It's a negative because of DSN, different signs negative. I'd pause right now and try and do a couple buzz math before you move on. All right, here we have plus and negative real quickly, and plus and negative, and again, different sides of the equal sign, so I go ahead and say, all right, I need to move them. I like moving them left. If you want to move it the other way, it would still give you the same answer. Let's add g to both sides. This cancels out because it's 0. G plus g is 2g. Bring down your plus, not just 50, be aware of the negative sign, negative 50 equals not just 6, be aware of the negative sign, negative 6. Got to be super aware of negatives here. And we have our two-step equation. So we add 50 to both sides, add 50 to both sides. These cancel out. You get 2g is equal to DSSM, different signs, subtract. So 50 minus 6 is 44. I had more positive, so that's why it stays positive. And then we finish it off by dividing by 2g. Or sorry, 2. So g is equal to 22. Same sign's positive on that one, right? One more. So here, I'll add 3y. Add 3y. Again, the whole goal in doing this is to get one side equal to 0. So 4y plus 138 is equal to positive 6. So that two-step equation, we're actually going to end up adding negative 138 to both sides. Those cancel out. Bring down your 4y is equal to, what is 6 plus negative 138? Well, it's really different signs subtract, so it's really 138 minus 6, which is 132, but since I had more negatives, it's negative 132. So again, you get to use a calculator, so go ahead and divide by 4, sorry, it should be in red, by 4, and be aware that your answer isn't just going to be 132 divided by 4, it is negative 132 divided by 4, so it's negative 33. You can put the negative sign in the calculator in BuzzMath, so I encourage you to do it. And as a nice little bonus, I'm going to go ahead and say you can cross off this one. Come show me this one when you've done it all by yourself, and I will release you, give you a class dojo point, and then release you to do BuzzMath all by yourself. That's the end of part 2.